Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Konrad Gorlinski and this is the news. First, actress Barbara Kurdej-Szatan stated in an Instagram post that the border guard are murderers and heartless machines. Now, director Agnieszka Holland is speaking about murder in the context of the activities of the Polish border services. Meanwhile, the Ministry of National Defense published a video on its social media showing how a group of migrants attacked Polish border guard posts. The head of the ministry, Mariusz Błaszczak, warns of the tense situation at the border. At the end of September, director Agnieszka Holland, while receiving an award at the Feature Film Festival in Gdynia, compared Polish soldiers to the Berlin Wall guards from the former East Germany. Now she's talking about murder at the border. Poles today enjoy neither the sympathy nor the solidarity of the West, so let them get their hands dirty with blood. Then the same things will be said about them as they are said today about Polish anti-Semitism, because undoubtedly what is happening on the border is an expression of deep racism. This is crossing another line, because if you accept the de facto murder of people, you can accept anything. In turn, the actress Barbara Kurdej-Szatan, in her entry on social media, vented her emotions, and although she later apologized for the vulgar language, she added that her feelings in this matter have not changed. This is the f***ing border guard? F***ing border guard? These are machines without a heart, without a brain, without anything. Machines blindly following orders. F***. How can you? My heart hurts, my whole chest is shaking and roaring. Murderers! Do you still want such a government who allows such things, even orders them to behave like this? F***. Meanwhile, the situation on the border is still difficult. The Ministry of National Defense today published a video showing a group of migrants attacking Polish soldiers and the border guard. Aggressive men threw sticks and stones at Polish officers. The border guard emphasizes that it will not react to provocations. According to Commander Michał Tokarczyk from the border guard headquarters, their primary task is to protect Polish borders. We will perform our duties as well as we can. We encounter aggression from migrants and provocation groups from the Alexander Lukashenko regime, but we remain adamant and keep our nerves in check and certainly will not be provoked. The spokesman of the Minister Coordinator of Secret Services informed about further methods used by the regime to put pressure on Poland. Migrants receive instructions. When going to the border, take children in each group going to the border. They should be exposed. Cuddle them. Get their clothes dirty. You should look very tired and poor. Journalist Tomasz Grywaczewski believes that the boundaries have been crossed. It's simply outrageous to call them names, throw mud on them the moment they start risking their lives. It was back in the days when political correctness did not rule the language that it was simply called betrayal. These ladies don't realize we're in the middle of a war. This war looks completely different now. It's no longer a war with tanks. These are the unauthorized words and sentences of stupid people. In short, they just can't realize the scale of the threat. According to journalist Tomasz Duklanowski, the behavior of the Polish opposition is unacceptable. Both Lithuania and Latvia face similar border problems, and there, despite the fact that there is opposition, there are opposition media who speak with one voice when it comes to the government's policy on border defense. Yesterday, 240 attempts were made to illegally cross the Polish-Belarusian border. 13 citizens were detained, including citizens from India, Syria, Nigeria, and Côte d'Ivoire. Decisions were issued against 93 people to leave the territory of Poland. 3 people were detained for aiding in crossing the border. It was 2 Syrian citizens and 1 Georgian. This place belongs to Kosciuszko. Now, these were the words used when unveiling the new monument of the Polish hero in New York City by the Consul General of the Republic of Poland in New York, Adrian Kubicki. The bust by Polish sculptor Marian Szajda commemorates General Tadeusz Kosciuszko and emphasizes his role in the victory during the American War of Independence. The ceremonial unveiling of the work was attended by representatives of the Polish community and members of Polish-American organizations. This morning, the residence of the Prime Minister of Iraq, Mustafa al-Kadhimi, was struck by a drone armed with explosives. 6 bodyguards were injured, but the head of government himself survived the attack unscathed. The attack came 2 days after violent clashes between government forces and militants of the opposition parties.
The attack took place in the Green Zone, a fortified part of Baghdad that houses embassies and government buildings. The bombers used 3 drones armed with explosives. 2 of them were intercepted by security forces. The 3rd hit the Prime Minister's residence. 6 bodyguards were injured, but except for them, no one was hurt. My home was the target of a cowardly attack. Thank God I and my colleagues are safe and sound. Internal struggles do not serve our nation. We work with the government to respect the state and its institutions to ensure a better future for all Iraqis. I'm calling for a peaceful dialogue for the future of our country. Long live Iraq. So far, no organization has admitted to carrying out the attack. Hezbollah has denied any connection to the attack. Abu Ali al-Askari posted this message on Twitter. According to our confirmed information, no one in Iraq has the desire to waste a drone on the house of a former prime minister. And if someone would want to harm him, there are other cheaper and more guaranteed ways of doing so. It's possible, however, that the attack was related to the recent riots. On Friday, riots broke out in the streets of Baghdad, injuring 30 people, including several policemen. Protesters opposed the results of the parliamentary elections held on October 10th. Parties supporting Iran's interference in Iraq's internal affairs lost power in them. Officials suspect that the militants of these groups are responsible for the attack on Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi.
And at least 2 investigations, one of them criminal, were underway today into the deadly stampede during rap star Travis Scott's Astroworld Music Festival that killed at least 8 people and injured dozens in Houston, Texas. The stampede claimed 8 victims, and a memorial has been set up outside the venue today for those lost.
Officials in Houston said autopsies on Friday's victims were being performed as soon as possible so that their bodies could be returned to family members, with the identities of some of the dead expected to be released today. The dead were young, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner told reporters on Saturday. 2 were aged 14 and 16, 2 were 21, another were 23, with a 7th aged 27. An 8th victim has yet to be identified, he added. Houston City Police Chief Troy Finner said his department had opened a criminal investigation by homicide and narcotics detectives, following reports that somebody in the audience had been injecting people with drugs. The city's fire chief, Samuel Pena, said several concert-goers had to be revived with the anti-drug overdose medicine Narcan, including a security officer who appeared to have been injected in the neck with a substance by a concert-goer. The rest of the 2-day festival has been canceled after the disaster unfolded at NRG Park at about 9:30 p.m. during the headline performance by Scott, a Grammy-nominated singer and producer, at the climax of the opening day. Scott himself released a video today asking people with any information to come forward and contact the authorities.
We've been working closely with everyone to just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, everyone help us figure this out. So if you have any information, please just contact your local authorities. Everybody continue to just keep your prayers.
The deaths happened near the stage when the crowd surged towards it, with some suffering cardiac arrests and others medical trauma, officials said.
And finally, the 2021 Red Bull Breakdancing Championships were held in Gdańsk this year. The finals ended last night and the winners have been announced.
B-Boy Amir and B-Girl Logistics were crowned 2021 Red Bull BC One World Final champions on Saturday in the Polish city of Gdańsk. Amir Zakirov, aka Amir, became the first Kazakhstani to win the competition after seeing off Canadian Phil Wizard in the men's final. Logistics, a real name Logan Edra, meanwhile became the youngest women's champion after the 18-year-old American defeated Russia's B-girl Vavi. The annual breaking competition saw the world's best breakers from 18 countries compete in one-on-one battles. Last December, the International Olympic Committee officially added breakdancing to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games schedule.
As usual, thanks for tuning in with us this evening. Please stick around for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and other programs. But for me, it's have a wonderful week ahead.